Hey there, it's Bijal, and today I want to talk to you about a fascinating subject, and that's the importance of simplifying and the maybe the bigger importance of completion. So I'm going to give you a challenge right off the bat, and most of you are probably not going to do it, and those of you brave enough to do it may feel a kind of a churning in your stomach. And that is, if you've been an entrepreneur for any period of time, there's a good chance that you've bought books that you've never read. You invested in courses you've never really gone through. And even the courses you may have gone through, you may have never fully implemented. And worse than that is that you may have done all that and then gone to another event or seen another webinar and bought yet another course, and very possible you haven't completed that course. Well, that's pretty much true for me and pretty much true for almost every single client I've ever spoken to over the last 10 years of working with entrepreneurs and small business owners. So what is this phenomena? Well, first of all, let's go back, take a step back. If you ever studied NLP, there's a concept of open loops, which is every time we have an incomplete thought, that our brain is kind of subconsciously working away at it. So think about this. If you've bought stuff or had ideas and you never quite closed the loop, it takes up some mental capacity, right? So even though you may not be consciously thinking about the things that you haven't completed, our brain, our subconscious it's gnawing away at it. The fact that you haven't got things complete can actually mentally drain us. Okay, even though again we're not fully aware. So what it can show up as it can impact your thinking, impact your ability to process new information, and the more of this we have, the more bogged down. Now, here's a challenge. Okay, talked about a challenge, which is in a Google spreadsheet or a piece of paper, whatever. Is go back through your hard drive, through your bookshelf, and look at all the courses that you've ever invested in that have never been fully complete. Okay. Well, actually, make a list of all the courses. Right. And if you want to kind of do yourself a favor, maybe just do it for the last 12 months. But look at all the stuff you've invested in. Okay. That was meant to be used as part of your business. It can include books, courses, software, apps, whatever it may be. Right. And ask yourself, why didn't you actually put it into practice? Was it because you just realized it wasn't what you wanted? In which case, that's completely okay. If you realize that that thing that you invested in is no longer required, you can close that off. You can literally mark it as closed, that it's not something you actually need. In that case, go ahead and delete it. If you're not going to use it, go ahead and delete it, give it away, whatever you need to do. Close the loop on that open project, all right? Now, if it is something that you think, you know what, this really could actually be beneficial in what I'm doing, ask yourself, where in the priority of things you have, your list of things you have to do, where does it sit? Is it something you want to look at now, a month from now, 6 months from now? As long as you can compartmentalize and place an open project, it gives yourself a sense of peace that I don't have to worry about it right now. What's troubling for the mind is when it thinks it's got a lot of stuff it has to do. It creates this sense of overwhelm, okay? Now, a classic example kind of came up this weekend. And this weekend was basically, we're starting Halloween decorations. And a week or 2 weeks from now, we'll be doing a Halloween party for my youngest daughter's birthday. She's turning 16. And this year we decided not to do Halloween decorations. Just kind of the whole festive season kind of muted, but we became kind of victims to what was going on in terms of, letting the circumstances kind of bring us down. So we say, no, you know what? We're going to do what we've always done since the day she was born, which is celebrate Halloween. So we started to decorate. Now, here's the thing. Right now, I'm sitting inside a 80% complete project. You'll see behind me, a lot of the stuff's gone up, but if I kind of just pan the camera around, it's not fully complete. Okay, there's bits and pieces we still have to do to get the whole setup. Now we do go a little overboard, but that's because it's our her 16th birthday. Or she's born on Halloween, so we've always thrown big parties. In fact, this year probably one of the smaller parties we'll be throwing, obviously to keep the social distancing and everything in check. but we are going to be having a few of her friends over, come and celebrate, with us. But more importantly is that we have a hard deadline to get this project done. Now, we don't intend to drag it out until then, but it's super critical to understand that when we have hard deadlines, essentialism is key. Absolutely, Travis. Knowing what's essential and what's critical right now is definitely one of the keys to closing those loops and then say, hey, I don't need this or not now. If essentialism, minimalism, simplification, whatever terms you want to use, these are great practices when it comes to putting away stuff that you've said, you know what, I really am not going to use this stuff anymore, right? But another way to do it is to basically make yourself, right? Which is by putting a hard deadline in place or working towards a hard deadline. It's amazing what you'll get done. The fact is you probably still leave most of it to the last minute, the last week, in fact, the last day, the last hour, but it will get done, okay? So a lot of people are afraid to use hard deadlines. What most people do is they'll work to get everything complete first and then say, now I'll do my launch. The brave people will say, here's a date for my launch or my release or the workshop, and then work into it. Yes, does it add a little bit of stress to your life? Maybe, right? But sometimes that's kind of the stress or the good stress we want to get ourselves to do it, especially when you've kept saying to yourself, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to launch my book, going to launch my course, whatever it might be. The fact that is, if you haven't done it in the last 6 months, the last year, chances are you're going to continue to procrastinate and not get it done, right? So again, using a hard date is one thing. So now let's go back to your list. Go back to your list of stuff that you've started or thought about starting. Okay. Got here, that's Chris. Oh yeah, I plan on it, Chris. I plan on seeing you guys. I'm not sure if we'll do the whole thing, but at least the evening part. So Chris Burns organizes a great men's conscious gathering. In fact, we got together a few weeks ago, and just an amazing group of people. So you're here in Las Vegas, and you feel that you're a conscious entrepreneur, which is no lies, no bullshit, no showboating. That's the kind of the code. At least it's my understanding of the code. You can talk to Chris about what the real code is. But we had a great night a few weeks ago. Just some good people to get together with. Anyway, back to the subject. All right. So, but another great example. So Chris is organizing an event, and whatever preparation he has to do to get that event ready, he'll get done. Why? Because there's a hard deadline in place. Halloween is another example. It's a hard deadline. We got to get all the decoration done, the outside, the inside, to make it the experience that we want for my daughter's friends who are coming that day. But think about let's go back to your business. What kind of date will get you to get those open projects complete? Maybe it's a website, maybe it's a funnel, maybe it's an opt-in page, maybe it's a interview one sheet. Whatever these things are, make a list of the stuff that's outstanding and ask yourself in what priority they have to get done and by when they have to get done. And are you willing to commit publicly to the completion of the dates? Now, simplification is one of the keys to getting things done, which is don't overcomplicate things. Get version 1 out there. You can always come back around and make improvements. So anyway, so we have a little bit of a Halloween wrap up to do tonight, but hopefully you are on a path. The completion is a theme for this month here. So hopefully you're on a path of getting things complete, especially as we look to the last 2-3 months here of what's been the most interesting, fascinating year. But it's so critical that whatever needs to be in place is in place by the end of this quarter in preparation for the following year. It's we don't know where things are going to go, but as entrepreneurs, we got to be ready. We've got to get our stuff in order. And if it means that we've got to kind of pull a few more hours to make it happen, that's what we have to do. Now, if you want to be part of a supportive, nurturing community that's going to help you expand your business, there's going to be a link below this video. So go ahead and click on that link and join us to expand the business. Facebook group where we are helping entrepreneurs expand the business. It's a thriving group of entrepreneurs on a mission to really get ourselves geared up for what's coming up ahead. So we call it the intersection of transaction and transformation. And really it's about tapping into connectivity, tapping into kind of consciousness, tapping into community, so that we can really help our each other thrive as we move to the end of this year in preparation of next year. Until next time, I'll chat to you soon. Bye for now.